You got scammed really good. Really, really good.
I got scammed. It's not an M car. Well, it was an M car, but now it is no longer, thanks to some idiot.
Well done.
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and that's about as high as I'm kicking nowadays. I'm recovering nicely from my life-changing surgery last week, the vasectomy, a lot of frozen peas and things. Thank you so much for the well wishes, but I'm doing fine. Unfortunately, though, this BMW X6M, which is the worst BMW M car ever made, is also giving me another swift kick in the you-know-where. The car ninja has told me to come and see something that is really, really bad, which, I mean, the whole car, of course, is really, really bad. I bought it at auction saying it had a check engine light with issues over $600. That was it for the disclosures. It had arrived barely running. In addition, the suspension was completely collapsed. This thing was a total turd from basically new, but now it's mechanically completely fallen apart. And then we discovered later that despite this thing only having 70,000 miles on it, the engine had been replaced. So I don't see what could be possibly worse. Ninja? But before we get bad news from the Ninja, I've always wondered what a weekly fantasy platform would look like that it lets you bet on the Hoopty Fleet. Obviously, a matchup between me and the Wizard would be an ongoing series of me losing, but what if you could guess more or less on just about any estimate that's given to me? And that would make things a lot more interesting for the viewers. And in that vein, I'd like to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. It's just you against the numbers, so members predict more or less between 2 and 6 player squares of their choice. The more picks you correctly predict, the more money you can win. So when I watch a NASCAR race or the NBA Finals coming up, making picks on PrizePicks just makes everything a little more enjoyable. You pick your players, choose more or less. You can play PrizePicks here in Kansas, Texas, California, also where I just visited Doug. If you're signing up for the first time, click the link below and use the code HOOVIES and you'll get 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. And right now, viewers have a chance to win up to $1 million every day with the PrizePicks NBA Playoffs Daily Superflex. So click the link below, use the code HOOVIES, and have fun following your favorite sports on PrizePicks rather than making horrible decisions like I did on the X6. Here we go. Yes, Ninja.
Hey, you walking?
I am walking. I'm not walking like I rode a horse for...
Does it hurt?
I'm fine.
Okay, I got some news that is gonna hurt even more.
Okay. Well, it looks like you've put everything back together-ish. I mean, it doesn't look... It looks stock-ish. I mean...
Well, it's just been put together so I can drive it in and out because I came to a stopping point. So I ordered the parts, the flange for the turbo lines, new turbo lines.
Because there was a massive oil leak in the V of the engine.
And
yeah.
somehow they would not fit. And then I looked on the side of the block.
Yeah.
And to confirm, I even called BMW with a serial number, and it says N63.
N is not M.
It's not an M.
So like the S63 would be the BMW M Power V8. So somebody took the blown motor out of this car.
Yeah.
Didn't want to pay the $22,000 to swap it in.
Yeah.
And they put in just a normally...
Just so they can dump it at the auction. And
But they didn't even get it to run well.
You got scammed really good. Really, really good.
So
And
instead of 550 horsepower, I have about 400. Is that what the...
Well, the way it's running right now, you have like 2.5 donkeys.
So it's still running like crap.
Well, I just put it back together. I did not even finish anything because I did not know what you want to do with it. I just made it drivable.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So it's still misfiring really badly?
Yes, and I haven't even tackled that, but the oil leak is fixed.
Okay.
At least it will not leave a stain on my
Yay.
floor. So it's up to you. I want you to let you think about, see what you want to do, but...
So this X6M is not an M anymore.
No.
This is the very first BMW that started life as an M car and is now no longer one.
We should remove the badge in the back.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I think, so many people put M badges on fake M cars. This car is no longer an M car, so yeah, that needs to go.
Let me get the pry tool.
Is there any positive out of this? Is the N63 more reliable than the S?
No, I rather have the S. The good thing about this engine is that it's not smoking from the tailpipe, so that's a huge plus.
But what could be causing the misfire?
Could be a spark plug, could be a fuel injector, could be low compression.
Low compression would be bad.
That would be bad, yes.
All
That's
right.
why I put a stop in it until you're gonna think about it, you know, what you wanna do.
Yeah, well, first of all, we have to do that because I got scammed. It's not an M car. Well, it was an M car, but now it is no longer, thanks to some idiot
Yes.
swapping the engine.
Well done. Sorry.
So, can I take it for a spin, I guess?
Yeah, you can.
It's not going to make me want this thing, but okay. That roof line. I managed to find the worst BMW. How do I keep finding these things?
This is by far the worst ever.
I feel like I've achieved something. Peak stupidity.
Yes, 100%.
All right, out we go. So this car, when it was new, was absolutely hideous and impractical. Oh, I forgot about the suspension being messed up. Oh, that is bad bouncing there. Yeah, it was absolutely hideous, not practical. Yeah, it's running just. Oh God, it's running just as badly as before. So this car was terrible when it was new, just impractical, ugly. But it had decent performance. It was a fun to drive, very fast sport activity vehicle. But now, 10 years later, 70,000 miles, it's absolutely, completely ruined cosmetically. And now somebody scammed me and swapped in the lesser non-M motor in this car. 400 horsepower, or, well, like Ninja said, donkey power. I'm flooring it right now. It's not going anywhere. Foot to the floor, stuck at 38 miles per hour. So what do I do with this thing? It's not an X6M. It's not an X6 5.0. I guess it's the M Sport that was never made, or maybe it was. Either way, it is completely worthless. Nobody's going to want to buy this car. Every dollar I spend is a dollar wasted. Oh! I don't know. Maybe it's something simple to fix. Like Ninja said, it could be a coil, it could be a plug, it could be an injector, or it could be a bad motor. So I guess I'll have him dig into it and see. This is the biggest mistake I've made in quite a long time, and there's been a lot of mistakes. Wow. Oh. Oh. So this is turning into a fun day of fail. I'm back in my garage, which I won't have for very much longer, trying to move the cars out slowly so I can move the lift over to the hangar. And well, the Aston Martin has decided to sort itself in the stone. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's talk BMWs again, because my history with BMWs have all been terrible, especially if they're after, well, the 2001 era, starting with the Bangle Butt. I mean, you start with that 745 I had with the Car Wizard. There was no winning there, but we actually did get through it, about the dumbest valve cover gasket ever. This is 6 years ago or so. Sorted it out as much as possible and then sold it. I've seen it on the side of the road a few times, and I think it's been junked since. It's had probably 5 or 6 owners since me, because it keeps ruining people. And then the BMW M5 popped up. The Wizard got mad at that, and that's how I met the Car Ninja to work on only BMWs. That's how he makes his living. And then there was the Dream Team with the horrible X546IS. Everything else, you know, was designed earlier, so it wasn't that bad. But that BMW X546IS was absolutely awful. Same with the BMW 645. You see the theme here. It's not just me buying terrible examples. These cars have massive, massive engineering flaws, and the consequences for BMW have been, well, nothing. I mean, 20 years ago, they're having issues with timing chain failures. 25 years ago, they're having issues with cooling system being plastic and brittle and breaking. And you'd think they will want to beef it up. When Mercedes makes a mistake, they kind of overcompensate for it. They fix it. A new problem pops up. They fix it. But BMW, it's like they don't even care. And since they're not losing any sales, they haven't lost their market share, I guess there's no reason for them to care. So now timing chain issues are a huge problem across so many BMW engines. Even the base model engines, the little four cylinders with their little bitty timing chains, are having timing chain issues. The guide issue. Also the cooling system, still total junk, don't age very well. That's why the Car Ninja is so busy all the time making a ton of money, because these cars at 10 years old, they are literally not worth owning. They are absolute nightmares. And I just don't understand why anybody messes with them and why people continue to buy BMWs when they age so terribly. But obviously it's not just BMWs. There's Land Rovers. I have similar issues and I'm dealing with that. Selling my Range Rover to the junkyard. Britishness. So let's get to the Vanquish here. This beautiful 2003 Aston Martin Vanquish that has been on the top lift, so it's kind of my fault, for around 6 months now. This is the Car Trek Vanquish that Ed had in Car Trek 4, but also Freddie owned it for about a year and then sold it to me. I've had it up on the lift with a battery tender on it, and I'm in a bad way because I need to get this car moved off the lift, and it has this automated manual gearbox similar to a Ferrari. When you open the door, the pump, the F1 pump or whatever they call it for Aston Martin, makes that noise. But then you hear that, it starts to get sick. I don't know if that's the pump going bad or there's air pressure in the system or something, but what that means is this thing doesn't go into neutral. I put it up on the lift in first gear. You need it to be in neutral for it to start. You hit both paddles at the same time. It won't do it. Instead, it just gives you a lovely gearbox fault and won't go into neutral. The pump runs all the time, not building enough pressure to actuate. Can't start it. So this thing is stuck on here, and it's going to be very interesting to get off because it is in first gear. So the rear wheels won't move. I don't think I can just put it in neutral with some little secret sneaky way. It's in gear, so I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can get a jack under there and some rollers, but with the scaffolding, it's going to be very tough to move out with a flatbed. So another mess to deal with. One more thing, but you know, life's still good. Thank you so much for watching.